Hello everyone, good morning. So today we are going to start with defect management, right? In the last session, we have discussed about test case design. So how exactly we can design the test cases, how exactly we can, execute the test cases, and then report generation, correct? We have seen different types of reports, like execution report, how to generate after test case writing, how to prepare RTM, right? These points we have already discussed. Now it is time to start with the next module, which is all about defect management. It's very important to focus on what exactly defect it is and what is your role once you found any defect, correct? So very first guys, in this module, the learning object is very clear, like what exactly defect it is, we'll be learning that. We are going to understand what is a difference between error, fault and failure. What are the different reasons of a defect in a software application. Then most important part, it's all about defect measurement. Okay. You will get to know that how exactly we can measure any software defect. So measurement where we are going to cover two important measurements, like we will need to understand severity of the defect as well as priority of the defect. So what is severity and what is priority we'll be discussing under defect measurement. Then we need to understand defect reporting, main concept, defect life cycle. In complete software testing, we have only three life cycle for study. You need to understand your development cycle very well. You need to understand your defect life cycle and the testing life cycle. Okay. And then finally, we can see how we can manage the defect even theoretically, even using Excel, how we can manage a defect. Along with that, we need to understand through Jira also how inside a Jira tool we can manage and maintain our defect. So let's start today with this particular topic. So guys, you are already aware, so many times we have discussed that as a tester, you are here to prevent the defect from software application, correct? So we start testing right from the requirement and we continue testing till the release. And for that reason, starting from the requirement point only, we need to focus on what? Defect prevention. You need to identify defect as early as possible from the life cycle. But guys, what is a defect? Anything which is not matching with the customer expectation that we can raise in the form of defect. So generally defect means any flaw in software system where you can see the difference between expected and actual result, that is we can call in the form of defect. Correct? Now guys, defect can be anything. It can be related to any functionality, UI part, any kind of non-functionality, quality attribute, let's say performance problem, security problem, it could be anything. But then it is important to understand how we can identify the defect, how we can measure the defect, and how we can maintain the defect report. Right? These points are important to discuss. So very first, what is a defect? Defect is variance between expected and actual result. So it is variance is nothing but the difference again. Anything which is missing, wrong, and not expected in the software, which is difficult to understand or hard to use, that is also we can refer in the form of defect. So example, if there is any application and which is quite difficult to understand any end user, correct? Then also we can notice that, okay, we can simple define that that application is what? It is difficult to use or difficult to understand how to use. Then we can raise that point as a defect also. Even software error, which is present in the program that does not do what the product specification state it should do, correct? Then we can raise that is a defect. So anything is available in your requirement. We should match our requirement, guys. Every software should match our requirement. But something which is not specified or something it is specified in the requirement and which is not actually happening in the software application, then we can raise that is a defect. Or something extra. Extra means what? See, generally there are three categories. Okay, anything wrong. Wrong means wrong defect means what? Anything, any problem related to functionality. That's called wrong defect. Okay. Suppose I'm expecting that. there should be a registration page, and inside a registration page, for username, there should be three different options available. I mean, first name, user need to enter first name, middle name, and the last name. Correct? But in the username field, it is able to, like user is able to enter username, but along with some numbers also, along with some alphanumeric values also, which is wrong. It should accept only character. So only character data we should able to hold in that username field. That is wrong. Okay, wrong defect. What is meant by missing defect? See, as I mentioned, in registration form, we are expecting that there should be three fields: first name, last name, as well as middle name. Correct? But suppose middle name is not developed by the developer. This is something which is missed by the developer or which is not available in the software. Then we can raise that defect as a missing defect. Are you getting my point? Means, in short, any requirement is missed by the any team member, even not only developer, by the any team member, then we can simply define it as missing defect. And what is the third? Guys, extra. What does extra means? Extra defect means anything which is extra, like something which is not given in the requirement document, but that is present in the software. Then it is called extra type of defect. So in general, as per the ISTQB, defect is known as a bug only. Correct? As per the ISTQB, defect is nothing but the bug only. At a simple, like whenever you are testing the software application, if you have any kind of issue related to the programming, then that particular programming kinds of error defects we can measure in the form of bug. But higher level functionality we usually measure in the form of defect. To remember that. So what is the difference between error, fault, and failure? See, very first I have discussed this point, right? Majorly, error means what? Any kind of software problem. So it is a just kind of any human action which generate any incorrect result. Then we can define that problem as a error. Usually error is a term which is followed by the development team in the development environment. But if any error is not resolved by the developer, definitely it will cause fault in a software application. The fault is nothing but manifestation of error into the software application, that is called fault. And fault is nothing but the defect. Defect is nothing but the bug. So these are some synonym terms. Clear? Even whenever any fault is not properly resolved by the tester, means if tester missed to identify, and definitely tester is not sending back to the developer for fixing purpose. So if any fault remain in a software application, it will cause a failure. Correct now? Usually fault always referred or identify the tester, guys. So tester is responsible to identify the fault in the software, defect in the software, right? Or bug in the software. But if any fault is not get properly resolved, you will get a failure in a final outcome or as a final outcome for your software application. So what is failure and who generally notice the failure? So always remember, end user usually notice failure in the software application. So anything which is not matched as per the expectation of the customer, right? Or somewhere, what is a failure? Deviation of a software from its expected delivery, that we can refer in the form of failure. So these are the three terms which are very much related, correct? Because person makes an error in the code that creates fault in the software and that can cause failure in the operation. And that's the reason, these three terms are very much related. Error is a terminology which is actually followed by the developer. Bug is a terminology which is actually followed by the tester. So guys, in terms of definition, what is a error? A human action that produce incorrect result, that is we can refer sometimes mistake, and that is called error. Correct? What is fault? Manifestation of error into the software. It is known as defect or a bug. That is called fault. Failure means deviation of a software from its expected delivery or a service, that we can define in the form of failure. So generally every defect, whatever defect it is, we need to identify it as early as possible in the life cycle, and we need to ask to fix it. Okay, we need to ask to developer to fix it. Very simple. So defect identification done by the tester, but defect fixing always done by the developer. Now the one more point to be discussed. Can you tell me what are the different reasons of a software defect? Mhm. What could be the reason? We have a defects in the software. It doesn't mean we are blaming to some other team member. Are you getting my point? Reasons are very straightforward, guys. Because of the SDLC, where multiple teams they are working together. So defect could be related to any functionality, any UI, any kind of requirement, right? And that's the reason. The reasons of defect are nothing but the failure, or we can say the problems or issues with the SDLC. So there might be issue like in requirement gathering phase, if requirements are not appropriate, not properly defined by the BA, or requirements are incorrect, missing requirement, some ambiguous requirement, then we can say there is a definitely defect. This is a one of the reason. Because of this, we should have or we will be getting defects in the software application. Correct? So this is a very common reason. There might be problem with the design too. Yes, your architecture is too complex. In that case also, there is a reason you might get defect in the software application. There might be issues with the development team also. Maybe developer is lacking with the skill. Developer are not able to develop the application or they are not implementing properly as per the given requirement. So there might be issues with the development team also. Even there might be issues with the quality assurance team also. Possibility that tester also having some kind of difficulty, lacking of skill and all, right? This might be the reason. Definitely. Even guys, very general reason. If you don't manage your time, if time management issues are there, let's say if requirements are not clear, design is not clear, somewhere in short time, we need to complete lot of work. That's again another issue. Communication between the team, that's another issue, right? So we have multiple reasons. Because of this, defects get raised into software application. And that's the reason we are using principle that we should start testing right from the requirement so that early testing we are able to achieve whatever defect you will notice as early as in the life cycle, fixing cost will be always low. Correct now? So requirement related defect, if you found it later in the phases of the development cycle, it always, high cost to fix such a defect. And for that reason, we need to start always early testing. Clear? That's the principle we have seen. Early testing saves time and money. So what could be the reasons of a defect? See the very simple point. There might be issues with the requirement. So poor documentation, ambiguously specified or unclear requirement, guys. Design related problems could be there. Implementation related problems, time pressure due to tight deadline, or inability to manage the change process. Means sometimes possibility that customer is changing again and again his requirement. And in that case also, okay, we might get some defect in a software application. So these are the common reasons of a software defect, right? Now it is time to understand how we can measure any defect. So fine, we do early testing and we found the defect, suppose, right? Then next point is we need to understand how we can measure any defect. So measurement of the defect is available in two parts. Okay. We can simply measure severity of the defect. We can measure priority of the defect. What does severity means? Severity means it's the seriousness about that defect. How much that defect will impact on a software application that you can test or that you can verify in the severity. Priority is what? Urgency to fixing the defect, guys. Okay. It defines a level where we can decide how exactly or when that defect should fix, okay, as per the given expectation of the customer or as per the requirement of the software. So measurements, it's very important role. Measurement plays very important role. And now it is time to understand who is going to decide this. What is severity? How much that defect is severe for your application? Who is going to decide this? Priority of the defect, who is going to decide this? Let me tell you. Severity, it's talk about seriousness of that defect. As a QA team, you guys are responsible to define severity for a defect. But priority always defined by, development team, even BA team is also involved, and even some other stakeholders also involved in this entire process. So decision will be taken care, by the developer. Finally, developer is the only one person who is responsible to fix the problem. But just to take the decision when to fix it, urgently fix, or let's say we are taking some time to fix that defect, right? That decision will be taken care by the entire team. To remember that. So what is severity? Seriousness of the defect. Priority, urgency of fixing the defect. But how we can decide if any defect is having what kind of severity? How we can decide? Guys, there are 4 levels under severity you need to understand. Somewhere we have very high severity, right? Very high severity, it's nothing but the critical issue. Something which is very much critical for a software application. Let's say your software servers get down, somewhere your software get crash, somewhere your software get hangs, right? That's a very high severity defect. So critical, anything which is completely, harmful for your software application, and such a big mum of bug through which you are not able to complete or continue your testing process, that's called very high severity. Second, we have high severity. High severity means what? If your functionality is not working at all as per the expectation of customer, then we can mention that is a high severity. Okay, anything which is not matching or anything which is not performing properly as per the requirement, that's called high severity, right? Third, we have medium severity too. What does medium severity means? Guys, simple slogan. Okay, simple points to remember basically. Medium severity means if functionality is working with some disturbance, then it is referred as medium severity. If any functionality which is working with some disturbance, that's called medium severity. And we have last one, which is called low severity. Low severity, usually it's always, represented some cosmetic flaws. Anything related to UI problem, look and feel problem, that we can simply define in the form of low severity. So severity always talks about how much that defect is severe for that software application. Okay. Example, here what we can say, your software is getting crashed. It's a critical issue. High severity, very, very high severity. Suppose login is not working properly. High severity. Because that's the main feature and which is not working. So we can define high severity. Let's say while entering some wrong credential, I'm expecting there should be proper error message display. Error message is displayed, but that message is wrong itself. Then I can say this is a medium severity. Functionality working with some disturbance. Low means, let's say, color of the logo is different. So logo color doesn't implement or doesn't, it doesn't impact anything on a functionality, right? But it is just a look and feel problem. Then we can define that's a low severity defect. Try to understand with example, guys. What does priority means? There are 3 levels to understand: P1, P2, P3. High priority. High priority means such a defect we need to fix immediately, urgently fix. Okay. Medium priority means we are going to fix the defect, but not immediately. Whenever you get a chance, whenever you are getting a time to fix that defect, you can fix it. So this is called medium. And low priority means if time permits, fix it. Otherwise, anyways, low priority defect as it is, we can release to this particular customer. So we have 3 levels: high priority, medium priority, low priority. Even here in the PPT, I have defined certain scenarios. That scenario you can follow to understand that which level or what level, what type of level of defect we are having in the software application. So what does severity means? Everybody. Severity is nothing but degree of a impact casted by the bug on that application. Or in a very simple word, it is the seriousness of that bug or defect on a software application, right? Priority is relative degree of precedence given to the bug for its fixation. Basically, it is urgency of fixing a problem, right? We can decide here at what level we are going to fix that particular defect, urgent, or we are going to fix it some, some other another time, right? Or we are going to fix it, or we are going to release it as it is to the customer. So medium, high, low, these are the different levels we have for priority also. Now guys, see defect severity and how exactly it is categorized into four classes. Critical and very high means these defect indicate this defect indicate complete shutdown of the process. Nothing can proceed further. Then such a defect you can raise in the form of critical defect. What is major or high defect? It is highly severe defect and collapse the system, or however certain part of the system remain functional. So any specific functionality or any core feature is not working, we can define in the form of high severity. Medium means what? It caused some undesirable behavior, but the system still functional. Means functionality is working with some disturbance. Then it is called medium severity. Low means it won't cause any major breakdown of the system. Something related to cosmetic changes. Those defect we can define in the form of low defect or low severity defect. Even you can follow this template when you can decide which level. So very high or critical defect, any core dumb feature, application not starting at all, application hangs, no workaround is available. Basically, whatever the critical or important documents you need and those workaround is not available with you, that is again a very high severity issue. Data corruption, application abnormally terminates, all this scenario where you can decide very high severity. What does high means? Function is working to, function is not working to the specification. So if any functionality is not working at all, server performance degradation or critical to the customer, such a defect we can refer in the form of high defect. What does medium means? Incorrect error message, noticeable performance inefficiencies, somewhere functionality working with some disturbance, that is called medium. And low means any look and feel problem, spelling mistake, grammatical mistake, enhancement request, any cosmetic issue, look and feel problems. Those we can define in the form of low severity. Correct? And then what is a priority? It's a level where we can decide when to fix any defect. So is it immediate we need to fix the defect, or is it we are going to fix it, at a certain level? That is what we need to understand. See, like a high priority means what? The defect must be resolved as soon as possible. It affects the system severely and cannot be used until it is fixed. So somewhere you found a defect where the system is getting crashed. Immediately we need to ask a developer to fix it. Unless and until developer resolve that defect, you are not able to proceed further, right? So high priority defect is nothing but it's a major defect and something which is very harmful and which is important to fix urgently. Then we can call it as high priority defect. What does medium priority means? Medium priority defines that suppose somewhere, it is important to fix, but immediately we are not taking action, we are giving some time. So defect, we are going to fix it. Okay, definitely we are going to fix it, but with some time. Then it is called medium. So during the normal course of the development actions or activities, defect should be resolved, but it can wait until a new version is created. That's called medium priority. Low means again defect is irritant, but repair can be done. Once the more severe defect has been fixed, then we can focus on that low priority defect. So try to understand. We have three levels to be understand in the defect priority. And again, there is a simple scenario when we can say high priority, something which is needed to immediate fix, something which is blocking further testing process, something which is very visible or must get fixed before the product is released. Right? That's called high priority. Medium. It should fix if time permits. See the point. We are going to fix it, but definitely how we can fix it with some waiting time. So maybe not today, tomorrow we are going to fix it, but definitely we are going to fix that defect. Low priority means would like to fix, but even as it is a low priority, we can release it as it is. So this is how the different levels we have for a particular defect. Now it is time to understand. Whenever we are working with a software, and if you found really any defect, how exactly you can measure the level? What is severity? What is priority? So let me give you some examples. See, in the interview, people will ask you, okay, they might give you any scenario and they will ask you what is the severity, what is the priority here. Somewhere they might ask you that can you give any example for high severity but low priority? Maybe high severity, high priority. So combinations they might ask, and you should be ready with your examples too. So let's understand now some examples. Now very simple. If I take a first example, if software application, okay, simple hangs, then what is the severity of this defect? What is the priority of this defect? Absolutely, if any application get hangs, we are not able to proceed further. So severity will be critical, right? This is a very much harmful to your application. And priority is also what? It is a high priority. Urgently, we need to fix it. Are you getting my point? Suppose second example. Let's talk about, see, severity always decide based on the software. How much defect is harmful to the software. But priority sometimes it is impacting on a business. It is impacting on your customer guys. So priority defines urgency of fixing that defect. At what level and when exactly we are going to fix that defect. So just decide based on the same rule. Suppose example, we have a Facebook. Okay. Inside a Facebook, there are certain games also available. Suppose any XYZ game is not working at all. Is not working at all. So what is severity for this and what is priority for this example? Can you try? In Facebook, there are some games available, but any game of the Facebook is not working at all. So absolutely what the severity here? It's not critical issue. But if functionality is not working at all, then we can define it as what? High severity now. It's a high severity problem. But now decide what should be the priority for this exam. If there is a problem with the game and which is available in the Facebook application, so फिर how exactly you can decide the priority, guys? Hmm? In this example, yes, anyone try. Urgently fix करना है या मीडियम लेवल से फिक्स करना है या लो. Three levels we have in the priority, right? अब थोड़ा सोचो. If user wants to play a game, there are other gaming applications also available. So how many people they simple follow Facebook for a gaming purpose, and if they notice any game is not working, then priority should be what? It should not be high, but we can say okay fine, if time permits we will definitely fix it. So it's a medium priority. Are you getting my point? Because it based on the number of user, okay, how they are exactly going to the Facebook and they are checking that particular game. So priority always impact of that particular application feature of that issue on a business, on a user. We need to check that point. But severity is impact on the software, guys. Okay, let's take another example. Suppose there is a spelling mistake. Okay, there is a spelling mistake, very common scenario, spelling mistake in a company logo name. Tell me, company logo name spelling mistake is there. Like Facebook is expected, but application shows fake book. Now tell me, if there is a spelling mistake issue with the company name, what will be the severity? What will be the priority? What do you think? Severity talks all about the seriousness, right? अब यहाँ पे तो बस spelling mistake है. So is it a serious? This defect is a serious defect? Absolutely no. Very nice, Alok. It's all about low severity defect because it will not impact on any functionality. Correct na? यहाँ पे बस स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक है, तो इट्स अ लो सिवेरिटी. बट what will be the priority for the same example? Even though there is no impact on a software, but this is very much important for end user now. So any company name itself wrong, people will not follow that application. And for that reason, priority should be what? Here I can define priority should be high priority. Immediately we need to fix this issue. Are you getting my point? So severity, priority, we need to understand this way. Any kind of defect and their relation, we need to understand. See here I have mentioned some example. Let's have a look. High severity, high priority. System crashes in the login page itself. Definitely it is a high severity, high priority. What does high severity, low priority means? See, system crash on a clicking on a button, but the page on which button is located, it is a part of next release. Means system, see there is an application and if you're clicking on any button, system get crash. But suppose the page on which part that button is available, it is a part of a next release. अगर ये next release का point है, तो high severity है because system crash हो रहा है. But low priority है as it is a part of next release. Are you getting my point? Again, low severity, high priority. Spelling mistake in any company name website, low severity is there but high priority. Again, location of button in any web-based application. So there might be possibility. Button is there, but on every page, the location of button is different. In that case, it will be low severity and low priority also. So you need to prepare some example with the same combination, guys. Are you getting my point? So severity talks about seriousness of the defect. Priority talks about, simple urgency to fixing that defect. Now here in this document, okay, I have mentioned the same details, but I have asked here few questions and let's try to understand those questions. So first of all, you can see there is a first question for you. Everybody, please use your chat box for answer. Suppose this is the first question. Site maintaining the student detail on saving of on saving record if it right, but if it does not allow to save the record. So some site is there which is maintaining some student detail on saving record. If it does not allow to save the record, then what should be the severity? What should be the priority? For first example, what do you think? कोई साइट है जो स्टूडेंट का रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करती है, बट whenever you try to save it, now that site is not allowing to save any record. Severity क्या होना चाहिए? Priority क्या होना चाहिए? चलो, quickly tell me. What do you think? What should be the severity? What should be the priority? Let me check. Okay, definitely it is a high severity. And what will be the priority? Okay, not exactly critical power because it is not anything crashing or hangs, right? It is just a site which is not allow you to maintain the records or save the record. So I will say both. Here in this case, priority and severity both will be high now. Correct? Priority and severity both will be high. Absolutely. What is the second example? Can you try? Spelling mistake that happens on the cover page or heading or a title of the application. Same example. Severity will be what? Priority will be what? In this case, severity will be what? And the priority will be what? If there is only spelling mistake, but on a company website, name, title, heading, right? In that case, severity will be low. Absolutely, it is a low. And priority will be definitely high. Urgently to fix that defect. It's very important to focus, right? Chalo, let's try this one. Any cosmetic spelling issue, which within a paragraph or somewhere in a report, but not on cover page, heading or title. Now think properly. कोई cosmetic issue है, but जो आपके main page पे नहीं है. It is available where? Inside something, within something paragraph or somewhere inside a report. So tell me about severity, tell me about the priority. Yes, absolutely. Here, again, some spelling mistakes, some cosmetic issue. But if it is not available on the home page or main page or cover page, definitely severity will be low. Even we can decide priority will be low. Rest of the participant try this. Very simple. Now tell me about this. An error which occurs on the functionality of the application for which there is no workaround. Okay. And will not allow user to use the system, but on click of the link, which is rarely used by the end user. इस सिनेरियो का मतलब क्या है? कोई एरर है, वो कब ऑकर होता है? जब आप वो फंक्शनलिटी ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन को यूज करते हो जहां पे कोई वर्क अराउंड अवेलेबल नहीं है. सो विल नॉट अलाउ यूजर टू यूज द सिस्टम, बट जो बटन जो लिंक है जो यूजर क्लिक कर रहा है वो बहुत रेयर फंक्शनैलिटी है. तो इस केस में टेल मी व्हाट इज सिवेरिटी एंड व्हाट इज प्रायोरिटी अकॉर्डिंग टू यू. व्हाट डू यू थिंक? सिवेरिटी क्या हो सकता है अगर बट फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन इट्स कंप्लीटली some error is occur where the no workaround is available. अगर workaround available नहीं है, okay, so definitely it is a critical severity. Yes, very high severity. But what about the priority? If that link is very rarely used, तो हम इसको immediate fix नहीं करेंगे, fix करेंगे, but with some waiting time. So definitely it's a medium. Absolutely correct, Pawan. It's a medium priority. Correct now? Now what is next? Let's try this one. An e-commerce website, every customer gets an error message on the booking form and user cannot place order and product page throws error 500 response, means it is a server side issue. In that case, what will be the severity, what will be the priority? Now decide. If there is a e-commerce application where every customer gets an error message on booking their form and they are not able to place the order even, and the product page shows server error, if anything is not working properly or server is getting down, server is failing, right? Because 500 response status code, it is for the server issue. So any issues related to server, definitely it will impact highly on a software application, so that user is not able to book or not able to place any order. So here I can definitely say it's a critical issue. And what about the priority? So urgently we need to resolve this issue. So absolutely critical severity and the priority should be high. Very good. Or you can measure in the form of high severity also. That is also okay. No issues at all. Fine. Now tell me for this. Customer who use very old browser cannot continue with their product of the purchase or purchase of the product. Now think, nowadays everybody having some latest browser version. But if any customers group we are having, those are using some older browser version, in that case they are not able to purchase any product. So what should be the severity? What should be the priority? Again, guys, think properly. If customer who use very old browsers, those customer are not able to continue with their purchase of the product. So first of all, it is a high severity because they are not able to purchase any product. But what could be the priority? See, immediately we are going to fix it. Not at all. Because how many customers are there? Okay, कि जो लोग old browser को use करेंगे. Mostly everybody follows the latest. And that's the reason we can say absolutely it is a medium. Very nice. So customer who use old browser, severity wise, it is very important. High, we need to, I mean, this will impact highly on application functionality, but priority wise, we cannot say it's a high, it's a medium. Okay, try this seventh number. The privacy policy page takes a long time to load. So which page? Privacy policy. And it is taking some long time to load. So decide. Severity क्या होगा? Priority क्या होगा? There is a page, when you try to open it, it is taking long time to load. It will impact on the software. How it is? Tell me. दोनों मतलब एक एग्जाम्पल पे दोनों ट्राई करो, सिवेरिटी कितना होगा, प्रायोरिटी कितना होगा. If the privacy policy page is there and that page is taking long time, in that case, what will be the severity? What will be the priority? So page is working, na? Page is opening, but only issue with the timing. So I cannot say it's a high severity issue, right? Privacy page hai, definitely functionality working with some disturbance, absolutely. So what we can do, we can simply define severity as a medium. And guys, tell me about the priority. Again, you can just notice how many users they are going to open privacy policy page. So here, if it is taking long time to load, developer is going to fix it. But again, we don't need to fix it immediately. With some waiting time, definitely we can fix it. So correct answer, absolutely medium priority, medium severity. Absolutely correct. Can you try number 8? You log in into Amazon.com account, add some item into the cart, click on the proceed and to checkout button. You make the payment and immediately system get crash. Now tell me, what is severity and what is priority here? Absolutely, it's very simple. If system is getting crash, we are not able to proceed with the further step. So critical severity and priority will be what? Urgently need to be fixed. So definitely severity will be critical, priority will be high. Immediate we need to fix that particular issue. I hope it is clear. Correct now? Now next, the about us page on the website, it is giving an error message. Now tell me, severity kya hoga and priority kya hoga? About us page on the website, it is giving error message. Some kind of error message is coming on about us. Then what will be the severity? What will be the priority? So there is only message coming. Okay, so it will not impact majorly severely on the functionality. Okay, but yes, definitely severity will be low. That's true. But how come priority will be low? Because many of the time people will check the application with their, the content, the major document like about us. They will like people will get the information about the organization, about that application too, right? For that reason, I will say that priority is here again high, not low. Immediately, urgently, we need to fix that particular problem with that particular page. So in this case, we can say about us page on the website. If it is giving only error message, that's okay. It's a low severity because we are just getting message over there. And it is not impacting on any further other, further functionality of the software. But this is a page which describe information about that organization or that company or about that application. So it is immediately fixed. Correct? It is important to fix it early. So we can say priority is what? High priority. What about this? The tester clicks on privacy notice hyperlink, which is at the bottom of the Amazon.com homepage. And pages, when the user will click, page is not displayed. Can you tell me severity? Can you tell me priority for the same? Hmm? Severity क्या होगा? Priority क्या होगा? Think properly. Tester ने click किया है privacy notice hyperlink which is available at the bottom of the page. Bottom of the home page. And the page is not displayed. आपने click किया है but page is not display at all. तो फिर severity क्या होगा? Priority क्या होगा? If page is not display, means functionality is not working at all. So I will directly put high severity absolutely. But what will be the priority then? Even though we don't need to fix it immediately or we need to fix it immediately. Think high or medium. As it is the issue with the privacy notice, correct? Hyperlink. But then again, you can think that how many people they will follow that link, how many people they will check that privacy notice link, right? So every time we don't go for the privacy notice, which is available in the footer or somewhere available in the bottom of the page. So in that case, I will say it's a medium, not exactly high. No need to fix it immediately. Why? Because how many users they will reach and they will click on that link, which is available at the bottom of that page. मतलब वो कहीं पे footer में होगा, right? It is not on the direct view or somewhere on the upper side or somewhere on the we can say, yeah, anywhere on the page. It is available in the footer or bottom side. Then there is a low chances that people are using or clicking on that link. But still, if link is not working, page is not display, yes, we can say high priority. But in the case of fixing, we can define it's a medium priority. So severity is high and priority is medium. I hope these examples are clear. So basically, what is this? This is called defect measurement. So whenever you found a defect, initially tester is responsible to measure a defect. Okay, जो भी defect होगा tester को measure करना पड़ेगा कि okay fine, whatever defect it is, what severity will be, what priority will be. जैसे आप ये अपना particular report जब आप developer को send करोगे, then the developer and other team members they will decide when to fix that defect. तो इवन तो आपने मेंशन किया है इट इज अ हाई प्रायोरिटी डिफेक्ट, but according to the developer or according to some other team member, if it is not required to immediately fix, then they can fix it to medium level. मतलब वो क्या फॉलो कर सकते हैं, मीडियम प्रायोरिटी वो अपने साइड से डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. बट फर्स्ट टाइम if you are maintaining your report, in that case you guys need to mention this defect report along with this all the detail. तो आपको ही डिफाइन करना होगा इनिशियली सिवेरिटी प्रायोरिटी फॉर योर डिफेक्ट. क्लियर? सो नाउ this is all about the severity and the priority. And okay, I have already added this here and which we have completed. Clear? So the same examples, guys, whatever we have seen so far. Now what is defect reporting? So chalo, once you identify the defect, you need to prepare your report, right? So defect reporting is keeping a record of all the defects in detail for easy and effective tracking. Correct? So we need to track the defect properly. And for that reason, we should have certain record. The main purpose is what? Absolutely, we can have a complete record of defect that may used in multiple ways. So defect reporting is very important step where again the tester is responsible to maintain a defect report. So again a question, who can report a defect? So guys, everybody those are involved in SDLC process, they can report the defect. But majorly, defect reporting done by the tester. So in most of the cases, defects are reported by the testing team. Now it is time to understand what the points we are expecting in any defect report. तो defect report के points कौन से होंगे? देखो, like a test case ID, there should be defect ID available. You need to mention product or project name, some module name. If there is a sub module, mention that. Phases, in which phase we found the defect. Even what is the origin or birthplace of that defect? Nothing but test case ID. Which test case got failed, right? That we can mention. Summary is important, description important, severity, priority. Is that defect is reproducible? Yes or no? That is important. So what is meaning of reproducible? Yes or no? Let me tell you guys. Reproducible defect means if every time you are trying to test that application and again same defect appears, then it is called yes status. Again, I'm repeating. If any defect appears again and again, then we can define that is a yes status. But if any defect appears only after certain step or it is a rare condition, then we can say defect is a reproducible. So no, that defect is not, we cannot consider as a reproducible defect. Example, I'm testing my software application on every version of the Windows. Let's say there is a requirement that it should work on every version of the Windows operating system. So I'm testing with the older version, latest version, right? On every version. And while I'm testing the application, if the defect I'm getting, okay, or let's say defect I'm getting on every particular release, for every release of the window. then I can say reproducible yes status. But suppose I'm testing with latest version, but for all latest version, there is no defect. Only on a specific platform, if I found a defect, then it's a rare. Let's say only whenever I'm working with Windows 7, maybe I'm getting the defect. Then only I can say it is what? Reproducible no status. So reproducible means the the we can say it's a simple how much time defect will raise or how the defect is appear in a software application. If it is coming again and again, right? It occurs every time, then only yes status. But if it is a rarely appears, in that case we can say it is a no status. Then finally, it's very much important to focus on status. See, initially, whenever you found any new defect, you need to mention as a new only. To remember, as it is a new defect, you will be writing what? It is a new defect only. But later on, whenever you pass this entire defect report to your higher authority, they will open it. So later on, status get changed to open. After open, when developer fix it, it will be changed to fix. Again, after fixing, it will be, if it is properly fixed by the developer, then we can close the cycle and so on. So there are different status available for defect. But initially, when you report a defect, you need to just mention new. And then you can write reported by whom, assigned to whom, and the CC. Okay, person to which we are passing this particular report. So these are the different attributes available in the defect report. So guys, let's see now. In the yesterday's task, we have created test cases, even we have executed the same. So let me open this document. And we have completed our RTM also, our execution report also. But now it is time to understand how we can maintain these two defect reports. Correct? So what I'll do under defect report template, let me design a template first. Suppose I'm taking this template, suppose, right? So let me just define as a all border. I will be defining now certain size and let me do wrapper text. So here I will be writing first defect ID. Very first we should have defect ID. Now guys, project name that we can mention at the top. So currently I'm just writing a very simple defect report. Test case ID, where you got the failure, correct? We can mention that for the mapping purpose. Then we need to important to write summary of the defect. It is important to write description of the defect. Somewhere we need to mention, okay, in the defect report itself. Let me write. Description is all about detail. So somewhere we can write actual step, or let's say expected steps, or expected result, I will say, and actual result also. We can maintain as per the ISTQB. Do remember, these points are also important in the defect report. Then we can define severity. Then we can define priority, urgency to fixing the defect or not, right? That we can define. After severity, priority, we need to mention what? Here, I will be writing reproducible, yes or no. So definitely it is a yes or no status that we can mention. Whether defect is reproducible or not. After that, we need to mention status for that defect. Even it is most important that whatever defect you notice, for that failure, you can attach screenshots too. Take the screenshots for that particular defect. Okay. Even these things we can attach, these things we can add for that defect reporting, guys. So this is what a sample template that you need to follow to prepare your defect report. And this is how you are going to prepare. The example C. Now we found two defects. Let's go back to execution. Let's check where we found the defect. So my first defect is when I click on all item options, on clicking product should be reloaded in the inventory page, but that all item option is itself not working. that link is available, then link is not working. So how we can mention? So here I will start with defect ID, something like defect 01. What is the test case ID? See which test case got failed. If I go back to execution report or in the execution, I found that test case ID, which is test case number 9. Okay, so I will write here in the report. Okay, this is what test case number 09, which is got failed. Here I will write all items, option or link, whatever it is not working. Short information, that is nothing but the summary. How you can mention description? See, here we need to write that from inventory page, okay, when user click on menu and from menu click on, okay, click on all items, all items option, that option is not working at all. So basically, here we need to mention some other details too, which is called steps to reproduce defect. Okay, you can mention steps also. So which step user need to follow? First step, user need to click on menu. Second step, user need to click on all items. You can copy paste these steps directly from the test case also. But these steps to reproduce the defect we need to mention. Again, guys, in description, you need to mention platform details too. On which platform you found this defect? So I found it on Windows 11. Something this information is also important. Detailedly, we need to write about that defect. Then what was expected? The expected is when user click, when user click on all item, all items option, then product should be reloaded into inventory page. Okay, but actually what is happening when user click, when user click on option or on all items option, that option is not clickable. Okay, this is how you can write actual result. So now tell me the severity. Can you help me? Everybody, what you can write for the severity now? Something we are trying to open, something we are trying to perform the functionality, but it is not working at all. Tell me the severity of this functionality. Absolutely high severity. What about the priority? All items should be just reloaded, but that feature is not working at all. In that case, I will not say that directly it's a high, but we can say it's a medium. Correct now? It's a medium priority. Now tell me, is it a reproducible, yes or no? So for now, I'm testing it on one platform, but again and again, I'm getting that defect. So I will say, yes, it is a reproducible defect. Status is what? Guys, initially status you need to maintain as a new. And then the best part is how you will capture a screenshot of that failure. First point, I'll go to the application directly. So here we have an application. Let me open that. I will do login, correct, into the application. And then I'll go to that page, menu page. I mean slide bar. And then I will try to click on this. And here it is getting a failure, right? So what we can do, guys, from the Excel itself, we can capture a screenshot. So somewhere here we have, let me apply draw and some kind of, let me click on draw. And yes, we can take a shape. Somewhere we have a direct option. Just a minute. Let me check where we can take that directly screenshot. Okay. So margin effects, color, print, views. Let me go to the formulas, data, and I think it is in the review. Okay, view. And yes, I think here we can take a directly snip. So guys, can you see where is the option? Because now we can directly take a snip also. So let me check from where I can directly take that snip of the entire page. Otherwise, you can do what? Take a screenshot and that you can attach again. So let me check from which point I can add. Somewhere here it is option available. Okay, just a minute. Let me check the home. Insert. Okay, I think in the picture, this device, no, I will be not insert. Yeah, screenshot here. Yeah, we can do here. See. So here I can snip, right? And see this. This is what the issue I have, right? So for now, if I just take this, I'm getting this screenshot. So guys, let me just show you how we can do this again. So I will go to the again snip. This is a screenshot which I don't need. I delete. And then I will again go to that particular screenshot. Let me again screen snipping. And here I will capture this. So this is the issue on this page I'm getting. Even you can do what? Suppose see, you want from the URL now, you can do that. Example one more time. I'll go to insert, screenshot, screen snipping, and see I will capture from the URL on which page you found this issue. Okay, that's it. And yes, this screenshot, you can see my screenshot is available here. Okay, so currently I will just minimize it. Again, this is my screenshot. I will just do minimize. Adjust the size, and then you can add it in your document. Okay, so where I'm going to add it, let's have a see. So I will be adding in my test case, and I mean in my report. Just a minute. Yeah, here. Okay. So this is my file now. This file I'm going to add it here. That's it. So this is how you can attach the screenshot about that failure, whatever failure it is. Okay, done. Save it. So very first you can observe this is how we have prepared our first defect report for a first defect. Are you getting my point? Yes. Okay, that's a shortcut again. Fine. Good. Now guys, let me take another report because we found two defects, right? So let me write defect ID. It's 02. Then in which test case we found that defect? Let's confirm. Test case 9, it's for all item. 10, 11, and I think it is 12. Last test case, right? So here I'm preparing my defect report for second test case number 012. And yes, it is all about that reset app state, okay, is not working. Again, that option is not working. Then you can detailedly mention what is happening in that particular defect, right? So currently I'm writing that, oh, okay, from menu slide bar, let me write from menu slide bar, reset app state option is not working, right? Not working at all. And here I can define steps to reproduce. So let me just write here, suppose steps to reproduce. And what are those steps, guys? So we need to mention here. Okay, so already if menu bar is open, we need to just to click on reset, reset app state. Okay. And here I will define a platform. So let me write platform. Again, I found the same defect on same platform. So I'll be writing Windows, okay, Windows 11. Clear? And let me again make it little bit changes like this is a bold. Step to reproduce. Let me make it bold. then platform, let me make it bold, right? So this information we are writing. Then we need to write expected result. So I will be writing when user click on reset, reset app state option, then it should it should refresh the page and it should refresh the page and it should reload the original state, right? It should reload the original state of application. But what is the actual result? When user click reset app state option, that option is not working, or I will say not clickable. Clear? Again, after that expected and actual result, here we can define severity. So what is the severity of this defect? Again, it is we can say it's not working at all, so high severity. But again, when to fix? Not immediately, but I will say it's a medium priority. Correct? Then guys, we need to mention that whether it is reproducible, yes or no. So absolutely, whenever we are trying, every time we are getting the same issue. So I'll say yes, it is a reproducible defect. Finally, we can define status. So absolutely status is new again. And then we need to capture again that issue. So reset app state means same screenshot, same issue I can again copy and I can again paste it here too. Remember that, right? Why? Because it's the same page where we found that particular defect. Even in both images, you can highlight which link is not working. That's okay. So this is how you can prepare a manual defect report, okay, for any kind of defect. I hope the point is clear. How to prepare defect report and how the different, the parameters in the report you need to fill. And even there are many things like reported by, okay, you can mention here after screenshot and all, you can write here reporter by, okay, reported by, then reporter to, right? So we can write here reported by, report to, okay. So these things you can mention. Again, date and time, everything we can mention in this particular defect report template. But this is how the manual process that you need to follow in this Eclipse, in this particular Excel sheet. Fine. Okay. So defect reporting, where you have seen how many different attributes are there for a defect and how exactly we can mention the report. Now in this module, two topics we need to complete, life cycle and the management. And then we'll be talking about Jira practical. But that I will start tomorrow. Okay, I mean the next session. I will update for tomorrow. If time permits, we will arrange one more session on weekend. Okay, but I will update you for the same. But today we will stop the session here. So kindly do practice. I will share this entire template today because now it is ready. So previously we have seen some different scenario. Now we have started with our SwagLab application. So I have shown you SwagLab scenario, test case writing, execution, RTM, how to prepare execution report and the defect report. And this document I'm sharing in the WhatsApp. Okay. So please kindly follow the same and start working on your project. Now here you can mention or check that after this particular topic, defect management, right? We'll be starting with Jira. So in the next session, I'm planning to arrange it on weekend. So in the next session, we'll be completing defect management Jira practical 2. And then we have a small discussion on mobile application testing, web application testing, and the tools. As I mentioned, these three modules we are going to learn practically. Do not worry about anything because web automation we are covering completely using Selenium. Mobile application also we are covering completely using APM. So anyways, we have a practical session on these two modules. But this you can refer for your understanding. So I'm planning to start on next Monday entire, the Java program. But let's see. First of all, let me complete this theory. And these two models you can refer. So it's very simple, like what we do at mobile or web application testing, guys. What does web application means? These points we are going to learn practically. How the client and server communicate, what is a web service, how the web service get communicate with each other. Web service are a program, right, which is accessed by the other applications over a web only. So we need to understand two popular web services, SOAP and REST. And this is I'm covering again in the rest assured or in the API testing. So these points, again, what we test during the web service and what we test during for the web application, how many different types we can simple perform, then different web application tools available in the market as per their category. And then you need to prepare your test cases. So hardly 4 to 5 slides are there, which we are going to discuss. Okay. So start reading those documents because here we are going to end the syllabus for the manual testing. Main module it was till defect management. Rest of the module is just kind of revision. Okay. So start preparing, start going for these modules too. And for tomorrow's session, I will update you that do we have a session or not. Otherwise, we will continue again from the Monday. Okay. Whatever installation part is required for Java and everything, that I will be sharing details again on a Monday itself. So do not worry about the tool installation, anything. Just follow the session, prepare well for the manual testing because this series is very, very important to crack the interview and to understand the process. Okay, fine. Let's stop the session then and we will continue remaining topics again from next session, guys. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. Yes, have a nice day.